we first got to this job, when we first were brought on by the client onto this project, this deck was in such bad condition that as soon as we agreed on what we were going to do, the next day I had a carpenter over here to put in these temporary supports. That's how concerned I was about this. The posts here, the footings don't seem to be too bad, but we don't know exactly how far down they went. The deck is settled a little bit, but the 4x4s that are used now, there's no post to girder connectors on top to keep these connected. There's also no footing to post connectors. Footing to post connectors is to protect against uplift. Same with your connectors up here. In parts of the country where there's a lot of wind, you can have uplift on a deck where it'll actually lift the deck off the ground. And when it drops back down, it pulls it right off the house because the posts fall out. Because on this deck here, the only thing, on most decks built at this time, the only thing holding these posts in place is the pressure of the deck, the weight of the deck. This post here, completely gone. Now they did use steel rod they used rebar that went down into the footing itself, but that keeps from lateral movement side to side, but that doesn't help for uplift. That won't help for uplift. It just keeps side to side, and it actually probably contributed to the amount of rot that we have in here. Over here, the connections to the house. This at one time was allegedly code to notch your joists over and put it onto the ledger like this. What you're effectively doing is once you notch this 2x10 down, you've basically got a 2x6, which is carrying the load. Plus there's no connection, there's no lateral connection to the house. There's no joist hangers. Joist hangers connect the joists to the ledger. The ledger itself has 1 bolt and 2 bolts. That's about it for the entire ledger. The connection starts with the ledger. The ledger gets bolted to the house. The code is 1 bolt every other bay, up and down. What we do is we put a rubber membrane on the house to protect in case water gets behind the ledger, and then we put our ledger on. We bolt it on every single bay, and then we flash down over the top. So that's our main connection. Then we have our joist hangers that go on there. Our joist hangers carry out our joist out to our girder. Then we have our girder connectors where we use hurricane clips. It's not required in New Jersey, it's not required in this application. The next connection that we do have to do that is code is our girder to post. That connects our posts that support our weight to our girder itself. And then we run right down to the ground, and our next connection and final connection that we would use is the footing to post connector. That connects our post itself to the footing that goes into the ground. So we have positive connection from the house itself all the way out to the end of the deck, all the way down to the ground, all the way to the footing. That's how you build a safe deck. We look at the decks, we maintain the decks that we build. We go back to them year after year. We do the washing and sealing on them. Most guys that build decks, they never see them again. They build them, that's the end of it. We go back and we look. So we see what other guys do, we see where their mistakes are, and that we address that in our design. It's really important. A lot of the design comes from obviously flow and function for the people, but for the client, but a lot of the details that they don't even know about, they don't see the stuff going on, the detail in the background, is for longevity of the deck and to make sure that things don't move and don't deteriorate over time. This is an outdoor living room. This outdoor living room, this is a finished room. It's like doing an addition in a house, an addition on the house, and having everything that you put into it have to be weatherproof and have to last outside.